A warm welcome, everyone. Dear Honourable Chief Minister, Mr. Murad Ali Shah, dear Honourable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Sarosh Lodi, dear Honourable Head of IRWA Foundation, Ms. Nadra Panjani, Honourable conference participants, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me introduce myself. I am Lampros Stergioulas. I hold the UNESCO Chair in Artificial Intelligence and Data Science for Society at the Hague University of Applied Sciences. I'm delighted to join you, even by video, in this occasion. I'd like to thank you for inviting me to this wonderful conference. Shukriya for this honor and this opportunity to connect with you on a subject that is close to my heart. Special thanks to Professor 𝐍𝐂𝐾, of course, and his team, and all the colleagues in the NEDUniversity for your kind invitation. I'll be talking about the challenges and a call to action to open up higher education for people with disabilities. According to the World Federation of the Deaf, there are more than 70 million deaf people worldwide. More than 80% of them live in developing countries. According to the World Health Organization, over 5% of the world's population, almost 500 million people, that's billion, require rehabilitation to address their disabling hearing loss. In developing countries, children with hearing loss and deafness often do not receive schooling. Adults with hearing loss also have a much higher unemployment rate. Among those who are employed, a higher percentage of people with hearing loss are in the lower grades of employment compared to the general workforce. Social isolation also has huge impact. Overall cost globally is reaching $1 trillion per annum. This includes health and social care, lost income and lost opportunities in general in terms of potential not realized, foregone contribution to society, participation in the economy, etc. By any measure, this is a huge bill to pay. And at the moment, the large part of this bill is being picked up by the Global South, that is the low and middle income countries. And this according to the World Health Organization report on deaf, published in 2022. The United Nations have set a number of priorities in the form of strategic development goals, aiming to build a better and more sustainable future for all. Inclusion, which is Strategic Development Goal 4, is anchored on the fundamental human right to education for all. And this is represented by Strategic Development Goal 10, and this is promulgated in the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights of the United Nations. And UNESCO these days focuses mainly on the promotion and achievement of these strategic development goals. Recent UNESCO reports have delivered some strong messages. Inclusion in higher education is indispensable for both social justice and talent development reasons. Governments and higher education institutions rely on a wide range of policies and measures as they seek to eliminate the main barriers to equity of access as well as of success. Research shows that the most effective equity promotion policies to increase opportunities for disadvantaged students at the higher education level are those that combine financial aid with measures to overcome non-monetary obstacles. To overcome non-monetary barriers, many countries and institutions have successfully implemented outreach and bridging programs in secondary schools, preferential admission programs and retention programs to improve completion rates. To better inform equity policies, to eliminate disparities and promote inclusive higher education, there is a need for rigorous impact studies to measure the effectiveness of various types and combinations of measures to improve access and success. Data scarcity is a curse here. According to UNESCO, it is not possible to generate statistics that are regionally or globally representative of the status of persons with disabilities with regard to education because of the scarcity of national data. The scarcity of data about disabilities means there is a weak foundation upon which to build sound policies and strategies. We need to change this with appropriate data awareness and data collection actions and open data policies. Available statistics for example from studies in Thailand and South Africa, indicate a trend of growth in the number of students with disabilities. But still, the proportions are considerably less than 1%, while estimated disability prevalence is at least 3.5%, according to recent studies. So there's a big discrepancy there. There is also a scarcity of robust impact studies of equity interventions. Across all studies reviewed for a World Bank report in 2019, there are twice as many evaluations focusing on access than evaluations looking at completion, as you can see in this table. So at the moment, there is too much focus on access, but not on completion, and this is a problem. It shows our impact studies are not producing meaningful results. In fact, should track the successful completion and deployment data to ensure timely interventions can be made. So in order to measure first and then achieve equity in education, we need better and more data, with a more human-driven approach, focusing on outcomes rather than inputs. We don't just need to open the door, we need also a viable path to success. And in this journey, to be successful in achieving positive change, we do have some good methods and tools from both the data, technologies, and organizational strategies domains. I will leave you with this nice theory of change diagram, which shows a multi-level framework for increasing access and success for students from disadvantaged backgrounds. In its three shells, it shows the system level and institutional level dimensions that affect the performance of higher education institutions with respect to achieving equity, and also a sequence of actions and interventions towards cultivating supportive environments, which will lead to better equity outcomes. And to recite a famous quote, knowledge and technology are advancing our lives, but our survival depends on our ethical improvement. With this, I thank you very much for listening, and I wish you an inspiring and fruitful rest of the conference. Goodbye.